બેઠક જેમાં સ્થાનિક સ્વરાજની ચૂંટણીઓ માટે નિમાયેલા ઇન્ચાર્જ અને સહ ઇન્ચાર્જ સાથે બેઠક યોજાઈ.
સ્થાનિક સ્વરાજ્યની સંસ્થાની ચૂંટણીના સંદર્ભમાં વિગતવાર આયોજન અને કાર્યક્રમોની ચર્ચા વિચારણા કરવામાં આવી હતી. ખાસ કરીને પ્રદેશના અધ્યક્ષ શ્રી પાટીલજીએ પેજ કમિટી ઉપર ભાર મૂક્યો હતો અને પેજ કમિટી બનાવવા માટે કાર્યકર્તાઓમાં ઉત્સાહ છે એનું વિગતવાર એમણે માહિતી આપી હતી.
મોડાસા કેન્દ્ર ઉપર મગફળી વેચવા લાઈનો લાગી છે. 30 થી વધુ ખેડૂતોએ મગફળી વેચવા લાઈન લગાવી. માવઠા બાદ મગફળીની ખરીદી ચાલુ થઈ છે. મોડાસા કેન્દ્ર પર 4123 ખેડૂતોએ મગફળીની નોંધણી કરાવી. અત્યાર સુધી 2000 ખેડૂતો પાસેથી મગફળી ખરીદાઈ છે. મહેસાણા દૂધસાગર ડેરીની ચૂંટણી પહેલા જ રાજકારણ ચરમસીમાએ છે. દૂધસાગર ડેરી બચાવ સમિતિના બેચર ચૌધરીએ ગુજરાત મિલ્ક માર્કેટિંગ ફેડરેશનના અધ્યક્ષને એક વિનંતીપત્ર લખ્યો, જેમાં તેમણે કેટલાક સવાલો કર્યા છે. અમૂલ ફેડરેશનના અધ્યક્ષ તરીકે 2012માં વિપુલ ચૌધરીએ સૌરાષ્ટ્રની ડેરીઓને અંદાજે 23 કરોડનું પશુદાણ દુકાળ સમયે સહાય રૂપે આપ્યું હતું, જેનું બિલ ગુજરાત મિલ્ક માર્કેટિંગ ફેડરેશને મહેસાણા દૂધસાગર ડેરીને ચૂકવી આપ્યું હતું. જ્યારે 2013માં મહારાષ્ટ્રના દુષ્કાળના કપરા કાળમાં મહાંદા ડેરીની માંગના આધારે મહારાષ્ટ્રને આપેલ અમૂલ દાણની રકમ ગુજરાત મિલ્ક ફેડરેશને ચૂકવી આપી નહીં અને દૂધ સાગર ડેરીના નિયામક મંડળ ઉપર ફોજદારી કેસ દાખલ કરવા ફેડરેશન રાજ્યના ગૃહ ખાતાને પત્ર લખ્યો. શું આવો પત્ર ફેડરેશનના તત્કાલીન અધ્યક્ષ વિપુલ ચૌધરીના પૂછ્યા વિના લખી શકાય ખરો? તેવો સવાલ કર્યો છે. તો 2015માં વિપુલ ચૌધરીની પેનલ મહેસાણા દૂધસાગર ડેરીમાં જંગી બહુમતીથી જીતી, છતાં પણ 5 વર્ષ સુધી ફેડરેશનની મિટિંગમાં આવવા ન દીધા, જે પણ સવાલ ઉભા કરે છે. મુંબઈ આરપીએફ દ્વારા રેલવે સ્ટેશન પર માતા અને વાત કરીશું રાજકોટની, તો રાજકોટના ગામોમાં સિંહોની લટાર.
Have a golden opportunity to be in India, to be part of this economic and social transformation that we are witnessing and that will accelerate in the coming decades.
I completely agree. And your company has already done so much to help fuel this. Reliance, of course, brought about the 4G revolution in India. And I know that 5G now is another big focus for you. But what your company has done here, I think, has been truly remarkable in helping to bring hundreds of millions of people onto the internet and bringing opportunity. And I'm curious, as you look ahead to the future in India, what other technologies or developments are you excited about now? And where do you see the country in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, as I mentioned to you, Mark, I really see India accelerating as a premier digital society. I see us integrating both 5G, and just yesterday our Prime Minister has said that he wants every village and every Gram Panchayat. India has 680,000 villages and we have a population of 1.3 billion people. And he wants everybody to be empowered on the information highway with high-speed fixed broadband, and which is happening. We also think that compute and very low latency compute is real, right? I think that there is a great opportunity for really bringing education and healthcare with the second generation reforms that were done in the last 6 months, right? We have a unique opportunity in terms of, and as Geo, we are connecting all the 1.9 million schools in India and the 58,000 universities. At any point in time, we will have in the coming decades about 200 million children or young adults between the age of 3 and 18 in our education system. And I think that in a span of 10 years, right, we can set for ourselves an objective really to reskill India, and the talent that you talked about, right, can improve 10x, right? Today, you're just seeing the creamy layer, but that's what technology can do to really make a better India and a better world. The same thing we can do in health and all the emerging technology and integrations where we can make sure that we deliver services and we deliver good proactive health. We've learned that, and I think we are going to use technology. We are working very closely with all the authorities to make sure that we provide the technology tools and backbone for even so I think health, education, we've already and I think that what India has done is, in a sense, we have democratized value creation with the drive of our Prime Minister. And you can see it in payments. You would see it in terms of making sure that technology is easily available, and we've made it affordable so that millions of people, even at this lower per capita basis, can use this in a large market. And with that, finally, I really see the enterprise and the enthusiasm of young Indians and the aspirations of young Indians and their confidence, right? That is really driving India. And
that makes sense. I mean, and you of course already talked about commerce and driving small business and entrepreneurship, and it always blows me away that India has more than 60 million small businesses, and millions of people around the country rely on them for jobs, and that's a big part of what I hope that our partnership can serve here. We support more than 50 million WhatsApp business app users globally every month already. And more than 15 million of these are in India. So, with communities around the world now in lockdown, there are a lot of these entrepreneurs who need digital tools that they can rely on to find and communicate with customers and grow their businesses. And this is just something that I think that our partnership can really help with. And of course, beyond the impact on small businesses, I just think that this year has reminded us of how essential technology can be as a tool for people to just connect with each other, whether it's using the networks that your companies have established or the tools that we've built to be able to have that human connection and find important information. And, as you said, I can't imagine, going through the pandemic 10 years ago, but if 2 decades ago, but when the internet was still nascent, it just would have been a completely different experience. And technology, of course, is allowing us to make sure that we can get accurate information out to people. That has implications in health, like you're talking about, in education and helping serve people better. And I think it shows a lot of the promise for what's ahead. And I think we've certainly fared better now than we would have if the pandemic had hit us before.
I couldn't agree more, Mark.
I know, going back to Reliance, one of the great business stories in history, your father founded Reliance Industries, and he has just this incredible legacy here in India. And now I've read that he once held up a postcard in his office and said, if every Indian could speak with each other at the cost of this postcard, where will India be? And your father clearly had a vision for where things were heading in the country. And because today Indians can communicate with one another for less than the cost of a postcard. And that's what we've tried to do with messaging, and hopefully we can do that together with payments and make it so that people can use India's new UPI system, which I think is just great. It's a tremendous public good that the government has put out there. But I'm curious, before we get into UPI and more on that, I'm curious, what's the most important thing that you learned from your father and his legacy that has helped you build these just amazing businesses and get to where they are today?
So, Mark, thank you for those kind words on my father, right? Just so that when he motivated us in 2000 in terms of saying, can you make voice at the cost of a postcard, right? In 2020, right? We're very proud that Geo has pioneered free voice. So all like 400 million people, and that's a tribute to his vision, are on our network have free voice. And as you said, my father was a son of a school teacher. Right? He came to Mumbai with just 1,000 rupees in 1960 and established Reliance with a belief that I will invest in businesses of the future and I will invest in talent. And for all the young people at Reliance and across India, I repeat, my learnings in terms of building Reliance, in terms of really three basic tenets, right? One is for entrepreneurs, it's important to have courage and self-belief. And there can be no better person to demonstrate that in the last couple of decades than you yourself, Mark. So, all of us believe that, we have to believe in ourselves, right? And all of us know as entrepreneurs that we don't succeed at the first attempt. And self-belief comes to you when you fail. And self-belief increases your confidence when you succeed. So courage and self-belief is something that I always tell entrepreneurs that remember that's important. The second piece that he started and he's instilled into all of us, right, is that while you succeed, it's important to always have empathy and creativity in everything that you do. And by empathy, I mean put yourself in the other's shoe and make sure that how you make them feel is how you would want to feel. And, at Reliance, we do that at many levels now. We care for our employees, our investors, society, environment, and above all, national interest, India. And, within creativity, and I always give this example in terms of saying that when Reliance needed to grow, right, capital markets were not there. It was 1980s. And my father came up by saying, I will actually share shares of Reliance, which was never done in the private sector. And in the 80s, right, the first AGM of Reliance was in a football ground. And we had 60,000 shareholders. So when you and I both do annual general meetings, and his GM in the 1980s for Reliance was in a football ground, and he said, my purpose is really to win investors' confidence. And since then, there is so creativity and empathy are critical as you go along. And the final thing that I have learned from my father is really the importance of relationship, trust, and loyalty. The whole of Reliance, right, now we're hundreds of thousands of people, is one big family. We're not related by birth, but we are really woven together by passion, purpose, and conviction. Right? We have faith in one another. We are loyal to one another of this large Reliance family. And for us, it's always one for all and all for one. And I hope that, a lot of people around the world can relate to this. That's what we believe at Reliance. And, for all of us at Reliance, he will still be the founder. And if we follow his vision in terms of investing, Mark, that brings me to now my questions for you. Mark, what made you believe in India and the Geo story? As I said, that you have started this FDI avalanche in India, and the world recognized when Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg in the middle of lockdown said, I'm going to bet on India and I'm going to make, even in this uncertain times, right, one of the largest foreign direct investments in India. And what do you think of the digital network that you are clearly, like, I call you the architect of the digital network of the world. Like while I have built some connectivity and broadband connectivity in India, you've done that for the world. That has, please share with us your experience of, as the digital architect of the world, how your global Facebook has helped people in this crisis, and your perspective of the crisis and where you see the world today and where it is going, after you just explained to us India.
Your words are incredibly generous. I mean, I started this to help give people a tool to stay connected with their friends, and then expand to friends and family and communities. And a lot of this has just been that ends up being a universal human phenomenon. No matter what country you're in, everyone cares about their friends and family and their communities and wants to stay connected. And what we've seen is that India is actually home to the largest communities in the world across Facebook and WhatsApp. And the creativity of businesses and how much people want to connect. And you see a tremendous number of people coming online, a lot of that thanks to your investments and the work that you've done to enable hundreds of millions of people to come online here. And I just see a very promising future in India. We talked briefly about how there's a big trend of financial inclusion ahead, and how the ease of payments is going to be such a big deal for commerce and giving people self-reliance and kind of control of their own destiny. And a lot of that is we just launched WhatsApp payments in India last month. So now you can send money to your friends and family through WhatsApp as easily as sending a message, and it's that was possible because of the UPI system that has been built in India, a unified payments interface. It makes it easy for anyone. Or it's supported by 140 banks out of the gate. And India is the first country in the world to do anything like this. It's, so we're grateful to be able to support this kind of innovation, to help to work to create more prosperity and help achieve a more digital India. And frankly, I think that a lot of other places around the world are going to be better off when they follow some of this lead that India has set in creating public goods like this. So there's really a tremendous amount to be inspired by with what is going on in India now. And we're just grateful to be able to serve our community here and help people stay connected with the people they care about, but also create economic opportunity as well.
Thanks, Mark. As you said, we are looking forward for your involvement and innovation in India, creating benefit for hundreds of millions of people, and then taking this innovation to the rest of the world. I hope that the rest of the world learns from Indian policy and what Facebook is able to achieve in India. And we as Indians will be very proud. While all of us would love to know your views on how the world is changing and what you and Facebook are thinking
Number of very important trends, but maybe I'll just talk about two. So we've spent a lot.
તો ફેસબુકનું આ ફ્યુઅલ ફોર ઇન્ડિયા 2020 વર્ચ્યુઅલ ઇવેન્ટ છે, જેમાં માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગ અને રિલાયન્સના ચેરમેન મુકેશ અંબાણી એકબીજા સાથે સંવાદ કરી રહ્યા છે. અને આ સંવાદમાં માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગે મુકેશ અંબાણીને એ પણ સવાલ કર્યો હતો કે કોરોના મહામારીના સમાપ્ત થયા પછી તમારા મતે ટેકનોલોજીમાં શું રોલ હશે. તેના ઉપર મુકેશ અંબાણીએ જવાબ આપતા કહ્યું હતું કે દુનિયામાં ટેકનોલોજી આગળ પણ જારી રહેશે અને ભારતની ડિજિટલ ઉપલબ્ધિઓનું ક્રેડિટ તેમણે પીએમ મોદીને આપી, ડિજિટલ ઇન્ડિયા કેમ્પેનને આપી. તેમણે કહ્યું છે કે ઇતિહાસમાં ભારતનું અત્યાર સુધીનું સૌથી વધુ એફડીઆઈ માટે ઝકરબર્ગ અને ભારતમાં ફેસબુક જીઓની જે ભાગીદારી છે તેને આભારી છે અને તેમણે ફેસબુક જીઓ ભાગીદારી માટે તેમનો આભાર પણ વ્યક્ત કર્યો. ખાસ તો આપણે જણાવી દઈએ કે એપ્રિલ મહિનામાં ફેસબુકે જીઓમાં પણ આ સંવાદમાં થઈ છે, વર્ચ્યુઅલ ઇવેન્ટમાં થઈ છે. મુકેશ અંબાણીએ માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગને કહ્યું છે કે જીઓ ડિજિટલ કનેક્ટિવિટી લઈને આવ્યું છે. વોટ્સએપ પેની સાથે સાથે વોટ્સએપ ચેટનો પણ સમાવેશ થાય છે. તો તેનાથી ડિજિટલ કનેક્ટિવિટી પણ વધી છે. રિલાયન્સ રિટેલ અને જીઓ માર્ટ ભારતમાં દરેકને વૈશ્વિક સેવાઓમાં ભાગ લેવાનો અવસર પ્રદાન કરશે એવું પણ તેમણે કહ્યું છે. સાથે સાથે તેમણે કહ્યું છે કે ટેકનોલોજી અપનાવવાથી ભારતની સંપત્તિ વધારવામાં પણ મદદ મળશે. તો આ વાત તેમણે કહી છે. ફેસબુકની ખાસ આ ઇવેન્ટ છે, જે 2 દિવસીય ઇવેન્ટ છે. ફ્યુઅલ ફોર ઇન્ડિયા 2020 આ વર્ચ્યુઅલ ઇવેન્ટ છે, જેમાં ફેસબુકના સીઈઓ માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગ અને રિલાયન્સના ચેરમેન મુકેશ અંબાણી એકબીજા સાથે આ અંગે સંવાદ કરી રહ્યા છે. જીઓ માર્ટને લઈને પણ તેમણે વાત કહી છે. જીઓ ઇકોસિસ્ટમમાં 400 મિલિયન લોકોને જોડવાનો લક્ષ્યાંક જે છે એ તેજીથી તેના પર કામ થઈ રહ્યું છે એવી પણ વાત આ વર્ચ્યુઅલ ઇવેન્ટમાં થઈ. તો ફેસબુક ફ્યુઅલ ફોર ઇન્ડિયા ઇવેન્ટમાં ઈશ અંબાણીએ પણ સંબોધન કર્યું હતું, સાથે સાથે આકાશ અંબાણીએ પણ કર્યું. ને હવે મુકેશ અંબાણી જેઓ ફેસબુકના સીઈઓ માર્ક ઝકરબર્ગ સાથે સંવાદ કરી રહ્યા છે અને તેમણે ભારતમાં જે ડિજિટલ પરિવર્તન છે તેને લઈને ખાસ ચર્ચા થઈ રહી છે. તેમણે કહ્યું છે કે ભારતમાં અનેક કંપની અને સંગઠન ડિજિટલ ઇન્ક્લુઝનની દિશામાં ખૂબ જ ઝડપથી કામ કરી રહ્યા છે. ભારતના યુવાઓ ડિજિટલ પરિવર્તનમાં ખૂબ જ મહત્વની ભૂમિકા અદા કરવાના છે. ફેસબુકના સીઈઓ માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગે ભારતના યુવાઓને રોલ મોડલના રૂપમાં જોઈ રહ્યા છે અને એ વાત પણ તેમણે અહીંયા પોતાની સંવાદમાં એ જણાવી હતી.
And for the partnership, I do think that in so many ways, not just Geo and the technology platforms, but the other businesses that you've built, you've had such a positive impact on improving the quality of lives for hundreds of millions of Indians. A big part of why I was excited to partner with you is there are not many people around the world who've just gone industry after industry and revolutionized them and improved them, and continue to do it and have that hunger to improve the lives of so many people. So I just have a deep admiration for that. And I am really looking forward to working together over the coming years and decades to make sure we can serve people in India as well as possible. And hopefully a lot of those advances will be expanded outside of India as well to help people around the world. But I'm incredibly grateful for your partnership on this. And thank you for joining me for this inaugural Facebook Fuel event today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark, and thank you for sharing your awesome vision of the future. You started this with saying that on Facebook you would see the India-Australia cricket match, right? I look forward to a day when Facebook will take me with everything that you explained on virtual reality, where I can, sitting in Mumbai, be in a stadium in Australia. And I'm sure that day with your digital architecture and leadership is not far away. Thank you so very much for having me.
તો ફેસબુક ફ્યુઅલ ફોર ઇન્ડિયાની આ વર્ચ્યુઅલ ઇવેન્ટને આપ લાઈવ નિહાળી રહ્યા છો અને હાલ આ સંવાદ પૂરો થયો છે. રિલાયન્સ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝના ચેરમેન મુકેશ અંબાણીએ ફેસબુકના સીઈઓ માર્ક ઝુકરબર્ગના વિઝનની પણ પ્રશંસા કરી છે. તેમણે કહ્યું છે કે ઝુકરબર્ગે ભારત અને રિલાયન્સ જીઓમાં રોકાણના કારણો પણ પૂછ્યા અને ખાસ કરી ઝુકરબર્ગને દુનિયાની ડિજિટલ કનેક્ટિવિટીના આર્કિટેક્ટ પણ બતાવ્યા. આ ખૂબ મહત્વની વાત છે. અને બીજી વાત એક ખાસ એ છે કે એપ્રિલ મહિનામાં ફેસબુકે જીઓમાં $5.7 અબજ રોકાણ પણ કર્યું.